That is caught. Unbelievable double play. And the inning is over.
If that ball gets up the middle, we might be having a different discussion today. But fortunately for Victor Gonzalez, as his life flashed before his eyes on a 105-mile-an-hour comebacker, he sticks his glove out, he makes the grab, he twists it around, throws it to second base, and he completes the double play, and the Dodgers get game number 1 under their belt. I predicted this to a T. Yesterday, I said that Clayton Kershaw was going to have one of his best starts in his postseason career, and Tyler Glasnow was going to have a rough day. And I also predicted that Mookie Betts was going to win World Series MVP. Everything that I said yesterday happened exactly how I said it. So we'll see how the rest of my predictions go for the rest of the series. But what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap, postseason, actually World Series edition. Yesterday was a crazy game. I feel like Robert Manfred is smiling today because that game was only 3 hours and 24 minutes long. That is perfection. I love baseball just as much as the next, but if I'm watching a game for 5-6 hours, especially if it's my favorite team, my heart just can't handle that. So if we can really minimize the damage to 3 hours and 24 minutes, that is going to be great for advertisers for the game of baseball going forward. Let's keep that up. But I want to talk about something real quick because I don't see a lot of people talking about this specific graphic. So yesterday's game was dominated by Clayton Kershaw and Mookie Betts. If we take their prorated salaries for 2020 and combine them, Mookie Betts and Clayton Kershaw pretty much are being paid what the entire Tampa Bay Rays roster is getting paid. So I'm not saying that money buys championships, but if you look at the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox or the Cubs or the Dodgers, those teams are always in the top 10 in terms of payroll, and seemingly they're always in the World Series. So maybe it just goes to show you that the Moneyball approach or the Tampa Bay Ray approach, it might not be great for the long haul, but you do have to tip your cap and commend the Rays. They've made it here. So let's go ahead and break the game down because it started off actually pretty good. Clayton Kershaw and Tyler Glasnow, they were dueling back and forth. Kershaw was dicing people up. Glasnow, he was hitting 101 on the radar on a fastball, but then everything came to one pitch. Cody Bellinger, he showed the world that his shoulder, because we all saw what happened. He had a home run off of Chris Martin in game number 7 against the Braves, and he matched it up against the forearm of Kike Hernandez, and it popped out of place. Well, he popped it back in place, and he hit a prodigious home run yet again off one of the more exciting starting pitchers in all of baseball, Tyler Glasnow. But we see it consistently. Glasnow, because he throws so hard, he only adds to the power of power hitters, because the exit velo is going to be so much higher when you're throwing 101 miles an hour. So Cody Bellinger, he confirms my idea that Tyler Glasnow, he might not be overrated, but I think you can officially say he is overhyped. Because if we look at his stuff, yes, it's nasty, but in 30.2 postseason innings, he has 22 earned runs. That's a 6+ ERA. You cannot consider him to be clutch or even a trustworthy good starter in the playoffs. I think for right now, you have to reconsider starting him in game number 5 or game number 6. If it goes that way, I think you might have to transition him into a bullpen appearance until maybe Trevor Bauer gets his hands on him at driveline baseball and he's able to work on his control, maybe develop his changeup even more, because he goes 4 1/3 innings, gives up 6 earned runs, throwing 110 plus pitches. He raises his postseason ERA to 6.46 in 7 starts. I understand that he's young. I do think that he is going to get better once he develops command and adds a third pitch to that mix, but I have so far been 100% on the money with Randy Arozarena, with Jared Walsh, with Clayton Kershaw having a gem in game number 1, not trusting Tyler Glasnow. I mean, so far, my predictions have been pretty spot on, minus the Indians beating the Yankees. So I would feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about, but maybe I'm just being too cocky. I don't know. So please let me know in the comment section down below. We're going to have this discussion yet again for the second time in the last, I think, 2 weeks. Is Tyler Glasnow overrated, or do you think that he's overhyped because he's 6'7"? He's just a beautiful man. I'm confident enough in my masculinity to say that, yes, that dude is attractive, and if you walk in to any bar and start talking to a girl, the minute that Tyler Glasnow comes in, everyone turns their head and they're thinking, that's not fair. He was sculpted by the gods. He throws 101 with the best curveball in baseball. So I understand why everyone wants to see him dominate, but so far he has just not gotten the job done. Now, I do want to talk about Clayton Kershaw because while this is happening, he is dicing people up. And also, while the Dodgers scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th off of Tyler Glasnow and the bullpen, Ryan Yarbrough was unable to really stop the damage. Mookie Betts walked and stole 2 bases, so we get 2 free tacos. Everyone rejoice, we get free food. I love me some tacos. I haven't had a taco in quite some time. But with that walk and 2 stolen bases in the same inning, he joins the only other player in Major League Baseball postseason, actually World Series history, to ever accomplish that. His name, Babe frickin' Ruth. Mookie Betts, Babe Ruth. That is where the list stops to have 1 walk and 2 stolen bases in a single inning of a World Series game. That is great company. 2 MVPs, some of the greatest talents that we've ever seen in the history of baseball. And on top of that, the cherry on top, if you're a Dodgers fan, Clayton Kershaw was absolutely brilliant. He threw about 70-ish pitches. His only 1 mistake was to Kevin Kiermaier. He goes 6 innings. That 1 earned run from Kiermaier only allows 2 base hits and strikes out 8 different Tampa Bay Rays. Now, this is kind of how the Tampa Bay Rays have been playing all postseason. Their batting averages have been terrible, but they get that spot home run or 2, and that is able to lift them and their offense. But yesterday, they only got the 1 run in terms of a home run, and then they got some few runs off the bullpen of the Dodgers, which a lot of people were saying Kershaw was taken out a little bit too early. I would disagree because Kershaw, he always gets lit up in the 7th inning because David Roberts, he puts his trust in him, but maybe a little too much trust because the 3rd time through the order, Kershaw is not the same guy. Now, that was his 9th postseason start in which he has had 6 innings, only allowing 1 earned run and 1 walk. That's the most in Major League Baseball history. So I'm going to ask you another question. Do you think that if Clayton Kershaw has one more good start in the World Series in which he is dominant, do you think that will turn around his legacy, or do you think that he will always be known as the Peyton Manning of baseball? Amazing in the regular season, if not the best statistical player at his position ever. But when it comes to the postseason where, men become legends, he fumbles and he doesn't do his job. So let me know. 1 more start is probably in the future for Clayton Kershaw if it goes 5 or 6 games. I mean, we have to keep in mind that his ERA is inflated by the 2017 World Series where the cheating Astros hit a bunch of home runs and just absolutely decimated Clayton Kershaw. But that pretty much does it for today's MLB World Series recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I cannot believe that we've made it to this point. I'm still just absolutely dumbfounded. The support on the 2020 season has changed my life, and I want to just say again, I'm blessed to have you guys as my support system. A house tour is coming soon. Give me about 2 or 3 weeks to paint, get my furniture in there, get my setup all nice and fancy. It's going to be a good time. But without further ado, let's go ahead and end the video with this day in MLB history. And don't forget, go get your free tacos. You get 2 or 3 of them because I know Chris Taylor also had a stolen base. Is it 2 or 3? I don't know. Go get your tacos. Stay safe.
Walk twice, and the wind blowing out. There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run. The English for Carl Fisk. Watch him. How many steps does he take? 1. He waits to see it. Get over. Get over. He knew it. There it is.